T. Clark here, talking about truth tables and how to fill them out. So first off, we're given Boolean variables A and B. So we know right now they're either true or false. So I'm going to use T and F for true and false. And first thing I do is I fill in the first column for A. A can be true or false. And then B can be true or false as well. So the first two columns are all possible combinations of true and false. True, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. Okay, then what I did is I have the expression here, not A and B. And that goes in the last column, not A and B. But before I get to that, I want to take each part and do each operation individually. So first thing I do is I do not A. So remember, not is opposite, so it's false. The opposite of true is false. Opposite of false is true. Opposite of false is true. So I'm just looking at whatever A is, and I do the opposite for this column right here. And now I don't need this column at all, so I can either blank it out or just ignore it. So I'm just going to delete it to ignore it. Because now what I want to do is I'm going to do not A and B. So remember, and means they both have to be true. So are they both true? No. So it's false. Are these both true? No. Are these both true? Yes. So there's that true. And then this one, I know it's going to be false. So my final solution is false, false, true, false. And I actually don't want to delete it. I want to keep it here actually. So I wouldn't delete it, I would just ignore it as I go through. So on the last column, I'm just looking at not A and B. Okay, that's pretty straightforward, but what if I have three terms, A, B, and C? So if I given Boolean variables, A, B, and C, and now I have this complex one, again, this complex one goes on the rightmost column, just copied over there. And then what parts do I have? I have A, so A is already there, B or C, so I need B or C. But because I have C, I need to do all possibles. So the possibilities are all true, 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 false, true, false, true, true, false, false, and then the rest are false here. I think the pattern is true, true, false, false for the middle one, and then this one just alternates true, false, true, false. So I got the first three columns set up, and if you notice, there are three terms. Each term can be either true or false, so that's two possibilities, and 2 to the third power is 8. So there's 8 total rows here. So 2 to the third power. Okay, now I do B or C. So I'm looking at just this column, B or C, and remember, or means at least one is true. So it's only false if they're both false. So I have false here and here. Okay, so now the last column says A and whatever this was. So I'm looking at this column and I'm ANDing it with this column. So only when this column and this column are true. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to black this out. I'm going to actually, change the text to clear. That way I can't see those. Okay, so true and true. That's true, true and true, true, true and true, true, true and false. That's false. And then for the rest, I don't even care what this is. It doesn't matter what those are. Because and needs them to both be true, and this is false for all four, I can short circuit and do false, 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 false. So I'm not going to delete them, but I'll just say ignore them again. I don't need them. So I can make them invisible. So the only one that matters is the A if it's false. So if it's false, I can short circuit it and know that the answer is false because they have to both be true and they're not both true. And then I'll just switch these back to black text and there's my solution.